Hello, sports fans. It is Wednesday, February the 27th, the year 2013, and as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Before we get into our State of the Union of the NHL, let's go through some scores of note from last night. Let's start with the college basketball, where #1 Indiana went down to Minnesota at the old barn in Minnesota. What a tremendous win by Tubby Smith's Minnesota Golden Gopher team. They are definitely in the tournament now. They were a bubble team coming into last night. They have solidified themselves in the tournament. They will be dancing in March. And how good was Minnesota's crowd last night? They were rocking the whole night. They stormed the floor at the end. Tremendous win by Minnesota. I hope you caught that game. And now with #1 Indiana losing last night, if Gonzaga, who's ranked #2, wins out this week, Gonzaga goes to #1 in next week's polls. Do you believe it? Gonzaga, for the first time in their history, has a chance to be #1 in the polls, so we'll keep an eye on that. Great job by Minnesota last night. Xavier at home beat Memphis. You know, it might be too little too late for Xavier. They've had such a tough year. They could have used this win a few weeks ago. Maybe they could have built off that. Now it may be too little too late for them. I still think they're an NIT team, despite the win against Memphis last night, which was a good win. I think it's too little too late for them, though. Tennessee, same thing. Tennessee beats Florida last night at Tennessee. Tennessee's playing better. I still think they're an NIT team. I think it's too little too late for Tennessee. I don't think they can get into the tournament unless they win the SEC tournament, which is a tough task. By the way, Florida, a lot of injuries, and they don't play so well on the road. I like Florida. I think they're a dangerous team. Have to get all their guys healthy, #1. They have a ton of guys out. And they are not playing great ball outside of Gainesville, Florida. A little sloppy on the road, so you'd like to see them clean up that. You know, you got to take your act on the road. Good teams win at home. Great teams take their act on the road. So Florida's got to get healthy, got to play better away from Gainesville as well. That was your college basketball last night. As far as your NBA last night, Indiana continues to roll. They win a home game against Golden State. Golden State continues to slide. Little melee in that game. Hibbert got ejected for Indiana. A couple guys got technicals. They called it a brawl. I wouldn't call it a brawl. There was some pushing and shoving. No punches were thrown. I mean, to me, it was a little, a little thing. It wasn't a big thing. They called it a brawl. It was not a brawl. Some pushing and shoving. Hibbert did get ejected. Indiana is on fire, and Golden State's going the other way. Milwaukee went into Dallas and beat the Mavericks. I don't like what I see from the Mavericks at all. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I told you a few weeks ago they're growing their beards until they get to 500. Their beards are going to be down to the floor. They're not getting to 500 anytime soon. Don't like what I see from the Mavericks at all. They are not making the playoffs. Brooklyn beat New Orleans last night, and Miami in 2 overtimes beat Sacramento. Sacramento gave Miami a real tussle before falling in 2 overtimes last night, so Miami continues to roll as well. Over to your NHL, Winnipeg went into Madison Square Garden and beat the Rangers. Rangers, too many injuries, not playing well. They got to wake up the Rangers. This is a short season. Can't afford to give away points, especially to Winnipeg at home. Rangers are not in the playoffs right now. They got to pick up their game. Got to get some guys healthy. A lot of injuries for the Rangers. Washington at home beat Carolina. Carolina's another team with a lot of injuries. Washington's playing a little better. Florida at home beat Pittsburgh. Bad loss for the Penguins. I mean, I know Malkin's out. I know they were playing their backup goaltender. Can't give up 6 goals to a bad Florida team. Penguins got to tighten up their defense. They have to tighten up their defense. They throw in one of these clunkers every now and then, just when you think they're going to be a major cup contender, which they are. Then they give up 6 goals to Florida, or they give up, a ton of goals to Philadelphia. Got to tighten up your D if you expect to make a long run in the playoffs. So bad loss by the Penguins last night. Boston beat the Islanders last night. The Islanders, they can't take prosperity. They're up, they're down. I mean, they're more down than up. Every time you think they're going to turn the corner, they fall back. And Phoenix went to Vancouver and beat the Canucks. Nice win by Phoenix. All right, so that's some of your scores of note from last night. Let's go to our NHL State of the Union. Let's start in the East. We're going to go 15-1. Wins, losses, overtime losses, points, and a little synopsis of each team. Let's start in the East. Number 15, the Buffalo Sabres. 7-12-1, 15 points. The coaching change has done very little good. I mean, they did win last night, but the Buffalo Sabres have been a train wreck. I cannot believe how bad Buffalo is this year. I mean, I didn't think they were a cup contender. I thought they'd be better than this. This is a train wreck. They fire the coach. They're still not playing good. Buffalo, a complete train wreck. Number 14, Washington, 7-10-1. They have 15 points. I mean, they did win last night. Alex Ovechkin had a hat trick over the weekend. Remember when Alex Ovechkin would score hat tricks left and right? He finally got one this year, the other day, over the weekend. They're playing a little better, Washington, but still 15 points, tied for worst in the East. Washington, what's going on with you? They got to be better than this. Number 13, Florida, 6-9-4. They have 16 points. They did beat Pittsburgh last night, which was a good win. I don't think Florida's going anywhere, even after they beat Pittsburgh last night. I think they got to rebuild. I don't think this is a good Florida team. Number 12, the Islanders, 8-11-1, 17 points. 2-8 at home after they lost to Boston last night. 2-8 at home. Now, we know the Coliseum is the worst arena in the NHL. They have no home ice advantage there. They're going to be moving to Brooklyn in a couple of years. Thank goodness for that. That can only help hockey. But come on, 2-8 at home, Islanders. That's just despicable. As far as number 11, the Rangers, 8-8-2, 18 points. Lost 5 of 6. Have guys out left and right, including Nash. The Rangers stumbling and bumbling, all sorts of guys hurt. They have to get healthy here. I mean, the Rangers have to get healthy. To me, they were a contender at the beginning of the year. They have to get some bodies healthy here. The Rangers right now are playing very bad hockey. I do not like what I see from the Rangers at all. Number 10, Philadelphia, 9-11-1, 19 points. Playing a little better, but still very disappointing. 9-11-1. I still don't like their goalie situation. I mean, they're up and down. I mean, they are playing slightly better. They're right there for the playoffs, but still disappointing for the Flyers. I thought they'd be a little better than this. Winnipeg, 9-9-1, 19 points. Good road trip by Winnipeg. They beat the Rangers at the Garden last night. Winnipeg, after having some bad weeks, they are starting to play much better. And believe it or not, they're winning on the road. How is that possible, considering they have such a great home ice advantage in Winnipeg? I never thought they'd be a good road team. They're playing well on the road recently. Beat the Rangers last night. Those would be your teams out of the Eastern playoffs right now. Here's your top 8. Tampa Bay at number 8. 9-9-1, 19 points. I am not impressed with Tampa Bay. I mean, they lost at home to Buffalo. That's not easy to do, to lose to Buffalo in your own building. I mean, terrible loss by Tampa Bay. I'm not impressed. They got off to such a nice start. We know they can score goals, but I don't like their goaltending. They've been giving up way too many goals. I am not impressed with Tampa Bay. They are right there for the playoffs, but I am a little down on Tampa Bay after they lost at home to Buffalo. Not good at all. Number 7, Toronto. They are 12-8, 24 points. James Reimer on the men, so that's good news for Toronto. Overall, I like what I see from Toronto this year. I didn't think they'd be this good. They seem to be playing inspired hockey. I like what I see overall from Toronto. Number 6, the Devils. They're 10-5-4, 24 points. They've lost 4 of 5. Not playing well recently. Not playing well. Got to turn it around a little bit, Jersey. They're in a little bit of a slump. Number 5, Ottawa. 12-6-2, 26 points. Ottawa is missing all their top players, and they're still winning. They win these 1-0, 2-1 shootout games. Anderson in goal has been lights out. Their defense has been tremendous. I don't know how long Ottawa can keep this up with all their top guys out. They're doing it right now. Give them a ton of credit, and the goalie has been tremendous. Number 4, Boston, 12-2-2. They have 26 points. They're the best team in the East. I mean, let's be honest. They are the best team in the East. I mean, to me, they're big, they're nasty, they're physical. I like their defense. I like the goaltending, even though Thomas is off the team now. They haven't missed a beat. I really like Boston. I think they're the best in the East. Number 3, Carolina, 9-8-1, 19 points. A lot of injuries for Carolina. Skinner out with a concussion. I do like Carolina. I mean, I like their team, but they got to get some of these guys healthy. They're in 3rd place because they're leading the division, even though they have less points than some other teams. You get, the benefit of the doubt winning your division. That's why they're in 3rd place. I like Carolina if they get healthy. Number 2, Pittsburgh, 13-7, 26 points. Malkin out a few games with a concussion. Bad loss at Florida last night. Didn't like that. have to tighten up on D. Too many times the Penguins will throw in a clunker and give up six goals to a bad team like they did last night to Florida. Always give up a ton of goals to the Flyers. Penguins got to tighten up their D. Number 1, Montreal, 12-4-3, 27 points, 6-0-2 last 8, on fire, tremendous goaltending. How could you say anything bad about the way the Canadians are playing? They are on absolute fire. I am so impressed with Montreal, and we know they love their hockey up there, so they appreciate good hockey, and they're getting it right now. Montreal right now, best in the East. Over to your NHL West, 15-1. The Columbus Blue Jackets at 15. They're 5-12-3. They have 13 points. Listen, here's the good news for Columbus. New GM, and they have 3 first-round picks in the draft, and it's a deep draft this year. That's the only good news I have for Columbus. They do play hard. They will battle you, but they're going to lose most of the time. Do have 3 first-round picks coming up. Number 14, Colorado, 7-8-3, 17 points. The Ryan O'Reilly saga continues. He's a restricted free agent. They haven't come to terms with him. Either sign him or trade him. I mean, you can't have him out there in limbo. He's one of your better players. I don't understand what Colorado's doing. This should have never dragged on this long. Number 13, Edmonton, 7-7-4, 18 points. They're on a 9-game road trip. You find out a lot about a team on a big road trip like that. We'll keep our eyes peeled, to see how Edmonton does on this trip. Number 12, Calgary, 7-7-4, 18 points. They are showing some signs of life. I don't think they're a good team, have been playing better. Number 11, Minnesota, 9-7-2, 20 points. They're starting to make a run. I like Minnesota's team. I like the additions they made. Haven't been playing great, early. They had a lot of new faces on the team, no training camp. I think they're starting to make a run now. Keep an eye on Minnesota. Number 10, LA, 9-6-2, 20 points. They're starting to sober up after their cup hangover. We know the Kings can play. Watch out, they're coming. Number 9, Detroit, 9-7-3, 21 points. Beat Nashville and Vancouver. I don't love this Detroit team, but they're still Detroit. They're still dangerous. Those would be your teams out of the playoffs right now. Here's your top 8. Number 8, Phoenix. They are 9-7-3, 21 points. Beat Vancouver on the road last night. Very impressed by that. Not easy to do. Nice job by Phoenix last night. Number 7, San Jose, 9-6-3, 21 points. They're in a free fall. 2-6-3 last 11. Don't like what I see at all from the Sharks. Number 6, Dallas, 10-8-2, 22 points. Doing a pretty decent job. Jamie Benn is a solid player. Dallas doing a nice job. Number 5, St. Louis, 10-6-2, 22 points. St. Louis hosts Chicago Thursday night. That is a very nice game. Chicago's, hasn't lost a regulation game yet. They go to St. Louis tomorrow night. It's an interesting game. St. Louis may get them at home tomorrow. Number 4, Nashville, 9-6-5, 23 points. They've lost 4 of 6. Had a bad break against Colorado where Colorado scored a goal where the guy was clearly offside. I still overall like what I see from Nashville. They don't score a ton of goals, but they still win. They're 4th in the conference. Can't say too much bad about Nashville. Number 3, Vancouver. They are 10-4-4, 24 points. Kessler is back. They lost to Phoenix at home last night. What are they going to do with Luongo? Do they end up trading him? Do they keep him? What's the story with Luongo? He's still in limbo. I mean, we know he's been bad in the playoffs. Vancouver's had some really big teams the last few years, and he's killed them in the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on that. Number 2, Anaheim, 13-3-1, 27 points. Shockingly good. Anaheim is the shocker of the NHL as far as I'm concerned. I never thought Anaheim would be this good. They are deep. They have 4 lines. Very impressed by Anaheim. And number 1, Chicago Blackhawks, 16-0-3, 35 points. Haven't lost in regulation yet. Whether they play Crawford in goal, whether they play Emery in goal, they're both good. They keep winning. The Blackhawks have not lost in regulation. They've played 19 games, folks. 19 games. You haven't lost in regulation. Are you kidding me? They do go to St. Louis tomorrow. That could be where the streak ends. St. Louis may get them tomorrow. So that is where you are in your NHL. Remember, we have a shortened NHL season, so it is going to go quick. You can't afford to be stumbling and bumbling like the Rangers are right now. Too many injuries. The Rangers are setting themselves up for danger. I mean, they are really in the danger zone right now. The Rangers have to get these players healthy, have to start playing better, the Rangers. Very short season, so we'll keep an eye on all that. As far as tonight, Wednesday, what to watch? Your NBA, not a great night in the NBA. Golden State at the Knicks. Dallas at Memphis, Milwaukee at Houston, Atlanta at Utah. Not great. Couple decent games. NHL, you got some good games. Montreal, Toronto, very nice game. Washington at Philly, we'll see what, those two teams are trying to turn it around. Detroit at LA, very nice game there. And as far as your college basketball, Georgetown at UConn. Georgetown's on fire. Too bad UConn can't go to the dance this year. They're on probation. I would be more into this game if UConn could go to the dance. They're on probation. Takes a little luster out of this game tonight. But Georgetown is on absolute fire. So you got Georgetown at UConn tonight. Very underrated game tonight. San Diego State at New Mexico. I love the games at New Mexico. The pit is to die for. The fans are amazing. They will be going crazy tonight. I'm going to keep an eye on that game. And Arizona State at UCLA. Nice rivalry game. Very important game for Arizona State as they are on the bubble. We'll see if they can get the job done at Pauley Pavilion at UCLA. Won't be easy. So you got some stuff tonight. Not a tremendous night in sports, but you have some stuff. Tomorrow, we're going to do our NBA State of the Union. We'll go through everything else that's going on in the sports world. You guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe. Enjoy the games tonight. I will talk to you tomorrow, Thursday. Take care.